From the Fox Studios in downtown Panama City, it's Newsview with Lee Sullivan.
Let's talk about your endangered freedoms, news and views with an attitude. Good evening, it's Newsview. I'm Lee Sullivan. Thank you for allowing me in. I had the privilege of visiting with Ron Hart again this evening, as I have said before, much to his dismay, Fox Newsview contributor. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Notice how I crawled all over that.
Exactly.
You know? So much to talk about. The Rasmussen poll says that the tracking poll says that President Obama is not doing as well. But you have written, and we need to talk about, he's off vacation, is he not?
He's enjoying himself. Yes, he is, as I said in my column this week, he's the waspiest president we've ever had since FDR, perhaps. I mean, his wife dresses in J. Crew. They go to Martha's Vineyard, and then the whole time he vilifies the rest. And it kind of falls in that limousine liberal category that we talked a little bit about. He has that Northeastern Harvard limousine liberal, no means of income that you see, but they all spend money like the Great Gatsby all the time.
But you make a point that this is a society that has allowed him to attain what he has attained on the cuff, as it were.
Exactly. He's never had a W-2 from a corporation. He's always been on the public, either going to school on public help or going to community organize on being paid for by donations. And you wonder what a community organizer is. And if he was so good at it, then when he left, did it become disorganized? What happened in the community? When he's hired a bunch of his czars. I think he has 187,000 czars right now. And he's going to appoint a czar to be in charge of the czars. It's gotten so big, so he wants another layer. But half of those guys, I'd say half, I don't know the exact number, but a lot of those are ex-community organizers as well. So like-minded people.
Well, I think the first inclination that we had was that he was not of the common ilk, was the date night.
Sure. Yeah, the $40,000 trip to New York. Yeah, he's enjoying this. This is great.
This is the big ride, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine if Bush had done that. And Bush went down to Crawford, his own place, and kind of hung out. But imagine, it's a whole different standard. He also had a call the other day with a bunch of ministers trying to push his health care plan, say Jesus would have wanted it this way, a health care system like that. Bush had organized a call with 1,000 ministers. What do you think the press would have done with that?
Ripped him.
They didn't say anything about Obama doing it. So he should be a little gunshot ministers anyway between Reverend Wright.
You play golf?
Yes.
He played a little golf, didn't he?
He played a little golf this weekend. He
Swiss bank president.
Yeah, he's played more golf than Bush did. I mean, he has this kind of clandestine golfing situation. A Swiss president. Usually, politicians will not play golf with more than two people because you have to have three people to prove a conspiracy. So they rarely get the full foursome when they play. So it's usually two people, the UBS guy and some other donor type guy. So he seems he's living large on the public dole. He's enjoying it.
Is he still sneak smoking, do you think? Have you seen him puffing one? Or,
yeah. As I said in one column about the health care bill, this is the first health care situation, a major bill that's going to be signed by a president who smokes, enforced by a tax cheat, Tim Geithner, who cheated on his taxes, and also overseen by an overweight Surgeon General, and paid for by a nation who's broke. So you tell me what possibly could go wrong there?
I tell you what, sometimes I look at this poll and it's that daily tracking poll. And I wonder where it goes. And then I look at the stuff that has come along the line. The last good stuff that we had out was this email thing. I brought to mind he wants to have emergency control, or they want to give him emergency control of the internet. But he's got the email you from the White House thing down pretty pat, doesn't he?
He's got this list that he sends emails and trying to spin. David Axelrod was the guy behind that, and he absolutely is a genius when it comes to the internet. It helped the campaign a good bit. I mean, he didn't invent the internet like Al Gore did, but he's clearly a part. He used it very well for his administration. He's emailing people with talking points. And that's what the DNC does. They have their talking points. And if you talk to most people, and I'm sure you talk to liberals on occasion, not by your choice, but it's by accident, they always have their talking points. They're pretty organized. You're against the poor if you don't like health care. You're racist if you disagree with Obama. It's name calling. It's never, here are the facts. Here's what's happened with Medicare. We have, $100 trillion unfunded liabilities in this country already. You're adding to that. There's no facts in what they talk about. It's all emotional. You're bad because you're against Obama. You're a bad person.
You know, and I want to get back to the limousine liberal. I mean, you make such a great point about the difference between people that have earned or freshly earned their money and their attitude about economics as those that have inherited it by generational profile.
Right. There's two types of limousine liberals. There's your traditional inherited the money, like the Kennedys. There's, you know, the father, Joe Kennedy, was a great capitalist. You did not want to mess with this guy. He would rip your legs off and run in liquor.
Criminal, really.
Yeah. So, you know, but they're 3 generations away from him now. And these are indignant people who didn't earn their money, and they feel guilty about it. There's a certain amount of guilt that kind of permeates through their veins, that they feel like, I got to give back. Because, you know, if you're at a cocktail party, it's so much easier to be a liberal because you're for everything. How about the poor? Oh, we need to give them money. How about this? We need to give money there. It's always like, it's easy at a cocktail party to be for everything. It's hard to be against something. And Republicans used to be, when I knew them, against things. We're not going to spend that money.
When they were Republicans.
Exactly, back when they were Republicans. That's why I became a libertarian.
You know, we're going to talk about that. I'm finding fewer and fewer places to go. The Republican Party here in the state of Florida, the Speaker of the House, Ray Sampson, from over at Okaloosa, I think he cranks up about $173,000 in party credit card, American Express. So the guy that's in charge of the party has a news conference and cuts up the American Express.
Right.
But you don't hear anything from the Republicans about that.
My grandfather was a great man, and he was the first Republican elected to countywide office in Birmingham, Alabama. It's Jefferson County.
Yes, it is.
And he was the treasurer. He came in when Goldwater swept the South when he ran against Kennedy because the South, over civil rights, went for the Republicans. There had not been a Republican elected to countywide office since Reconstruction. My grandfather was that man, an accountant. So he had the checkbook in Jefferson County, and the city council drove Lincolns and Continentals, and they would park them in. I may have told you this story. They'd park them in the city council meeting. He said, "Look, guys, I'm not going to pay for Continentals and Lincolns and Cadillacs. Just buy a Lumina or average Chevy car, and we'll do that." And he goes, "No, it says right here," and they brought the. It says right here we get a car. It doesn't say what kind of car we get. It says we get a car. So he reads the statute. And the next meeting, they're all inside meeting, and he boots every car, and they all come out there. They go, "What?" He says, and it also says that all county equipment must be painted Caterpillar tractor yellow. So I'm going to do that absent a check. I mean, where are people like that? I mean, my grandfather was a great guy, and he got me interested in politics. And that type of discipline and perhaps even showmanship, which you had when you were involved, it takes that sometimes to make your point.
What do you, but I mean, did you spend any quality time in Birmingham?
I was born there. Caraway
Really?
Hospital? Yes. Caraway Hospital.
I was born in Birmingham.
Were you really?
Yeah.
We all lived there at some point. Yeah. I like Birmingham. I just got away. I was born, my grandfather died in Mountain Brook in Crestline at age 92, and a couple of cousins that played for Alabama, sadly.
We were in the lower rent part of the on the mountain, Vestavia.
Vestavia's nice now.
Yeah, well, it might be now, but it wasn't,
It wasn't
then. Ron Hart, we'll be right back.